distortion and torture. Couldn't care what you say though. I'm so stone age, call me Fred Flintstone. Bang.
See, we have a lot happening there in terms of consonants. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio with a good cup of coffee for one more vocal analysis. And today we're going to listen to Ren and the Skinner Brothers, which I believe that right now is only Zach Skinner. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have commented on the other videos that I made on them, and you said that it's only Zach Skinner, if I'm not mistaken. So, Ren and Skinner Brothers, truth or dare. I made already a couple of videos on Ren and the Skinner Brothers, and this would be the next one on the line for us to analyze. If you're new here, my name is Kyle Leish. I'm a singer-songwriter and voice teacher. As a voice teacher, here on this channel we talk about vocal physiology, voice mechanics, so how the muscles that we have, they behave in order to produce the sounds that we are hearing, in case we also want to produce those sounds with our voices. And as a singer-songwriter, just a month ago, I released a new original of mine. It's called I'll Be There. It would mean a lot for me if you could go there, listen to my song, and let me know your thoughts as well. Sometimes you'll be listening to vocal coaches and then you'll be curious whether that person really applies what they preach or not. And in my case, I'm constantly releasing music or writing music. I just love that. And again, it would mean a lot for me to get your feedback on my music as well. And before I forget, if you want to develop your singing, check out my online singing course, Building Your Voice. There we talk about a range of different vocal techniques. We talk about belting, we talk about soft sounds, powerful sounds, how to build your voice, how to warm up your voice, how to learn and apply different techniques, vocal ornaments such as vibratos, yodels, runs, vocal distortions, how to learn, practice, and apply them in a way that's safe, it's not harmful for you and your voice. Okay, so all of that and much more is covered inside my singing course, Building Your Voice. Check it out, link in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's listen to Ren and the Skinner Brothers, Truth or Dare.
Can't lie, I wasn't smiling. Had my back to the wall, no vibes in. I got dinks in my arm, it ain't shining. But we still come through with them top bins. Turn up the tape and the CD player. Man, not old school, man, are so out there. Machine gun murder, say she don't care.
We have a lot of creakies there. And creakies is kind of vocal distortion where we don't have a lot of volume. It's a kind of vocal distortion that only happens when we are not applying too much volume. If I try to increase my volume, I lose a distortion. So it's usually a distortion that we use as a fade-in technique. I start a word or as a fade-out technique. Hey. Because every time that I try to increase the airflow, send more subglottic pressure, that is the amount of air pressure that we're sending from below the larynx into the larynx and out, every time that we increase the subglottic pressure, we tend to lose a distortion. Of course, it is possible to keep vocal distortions in general with more airflow, but not the creaky voice. We would have to change on our technique. So here we have a bit of that. With also active singing. So just singing with the vocal folds in active tension, just as most of us would used to speak. With that amount of compression. Basically, the muscle portion of the vocal folds is more engaged, to close a bit more.
Yeah, is it true for dare? Good times, bad times, vertigo. Sometimes high and sometimes low.
You heard that? Active to passive. I feel that we had a yodel there.
Eye for an eye, that's blow for blow. All for I say she don't care. Yeah, is it true for dare? Good times, bad times, vertigo. Sometimes high and
definitely a yodel. So active, and then break into passive. When we don't want that to happen, we are singing, I am singing, and that happens without that being my intention in the first place. We tend to call that a voice crack or a vocal break. But when that happens on purpose, that means it was my intention the whole time to do that. I wanted to have that crack there. We call that a yodel. Yodels are basically abrupt changes between active vocal schemes and passive vocal schemes.
sometimes low. Eye for an eye, that's blow for blow. All fall down like domino.
high C there, and I think I heard a crystal voice. A crystal voice is whenever we have passive vocal folds, and we are actively trying to compress a bit more. We are engaging more the muscles in the back of our throats, the firming muscles as we call them inside vocal anthropophysiology. And vocal anthropophysiology is basically the framework for my work as a voice teacher. It is a field of study in voice that deals and studies a range of different sciences, voice related, just as anthropology, psychology, of course, anatomy, physiology, laryngology, speech pathology. And inside vocal anthropophysiology, just as a pedagogical term that we use when we are teaching, we call those like muscles in the back portion of the larynx, and here we have the transverse arytenoid muscle, the oblique arytenoid muscles, and the lateral cricoarytenoid muscles. We call them the firming muscles because they are embracing the back of your larynx, embracing especially the arytenoid cartilages together so that we get more firmness in the sound. And for the crystal voice, we have a lot of that, even though the crystal voice is passive. It's not, oh, I'm not belting out that note. We still have some compression happening there. But I'm curious about something. Let me return to the beginning. I have the sensation that I know this guy here wearing the hat. I don't know from where, but I think that I know.
Schoolmen are so out there. Machine gun mind, I say she don't care. Yeah, is it true for they are? Good times, bad times, vertigo. Sometimes high and sometimes low. Eye for an eye, that's blow for blow. Or fall down like diamond.
Oh, okay, that's Ren. I was about to ask because I know that you guys pointed out that in the comment section of the previous videos that the guy with the mask is Zach Skinner, and there we have.
Let me come in. Couldn't lie, I heard sirens. We had our backs to the wall, no fighting. Bright left night on the streets of Brighton. Eye for an eye in the world, you sight time. Urukai Titan, moving me the shadows of the night time. Swinging in the gallows, point an arrow at horizon. Pull back, shooting at the moon, that's a nightcap. Live forever, suffocate. I'm at the tape and the CD player. Man, not old school, man, are so out there. Machine gun mind, I say she don't care. Yeah, is it true for they are?
Mostly active vocal fold sounding. And another thing really interesting is the way that he pronounces the words, basically, because rhythmically is really interesting, and this is something that I mentioned in previous videos. The way that he articulates some consonants makes that a strong percussive sounding sound. Like some consonants are quite strong, and that's really interesting for this kind of thing.
Good times, bad times, vertigo. Sometimes high and sometimes low.
I love those rigs. That reminds me a lot, actually, if I think of the melody. Okay, forget about the words. Let's think of the melody. That makes me think a lot of, well, I could definitely picture Aurora singing this melody. I could picture that being a melody in the Cranberries song. So that's quite interesting. The yodels there are what's giving me this vibe. And the producing here is so rich. Like, definitely we have a lot of tracks here, and it sounds so full and well put together.
Yeah, feel that part. Man, I wanna skunk a bit. Every day I wanna feel that trip. I got the loot in my pocket, no man, you know why. I get the police on my back, and man, you know why. I got that feeling in my bones and in my head. I think I'll take depression and torture. Don't care what you say though. I'm so stone age, call me Fred Flintstone. Bang.
See, we have a lot happening there in terms of consonants, which is mind-blowing, especially because what we are used to be taught and to teach inside vocal pedagogy in general, of course, as a rule, but there are exemptions, and of course this is changing with contemporary singing in general and people experimenting with different sounds, but we tend to think that, we actually sing on the vowels and the consonants are only there to make our life harder, but let's just do something with them, but our focus should be on the vowels. But then singers like Ren come, and the consonants make the sound so much interesting. That's amazing.
Pop and a little indie. I'm not real like Wait, let's go for the top, man. Flip it like James Brown. You get me? Can't lie, I wasn't smiling. Had my back to the wall, no vibes in. I got dinks in my arm, I ain't shining. But we still come through with them top bins. Yeah. Good times, bad times, vertigo. Sometimes high and sometimes low. Eye for an eye, that's blow for blow. Oh,
The horn section, that's so cool. Guys, this is so rich. This is amazing, of course. As I always say, Rin is at a different level artistically. Like, everything that this guy does is just like so full of emotion and meaning and layers. Alright, so this was our analysis of Truth or Dare. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the song, what you think of the analysis and the techniques that they are using. Let me know also what other songs you would like me to analyze next. I do believe that I'll be continuing with this series on Ren and the Skinner Brothers. They have released a song, a new one after this that I am yet to make an analysis on. I might be doing it this weekend. Again, if you want to develop your own voice, learning all of the techniques and other techniques, active vocal schemes, passive vocal schemes, and if you want to be expressive and dramatic, singing softly, but also the active techniques to be powerful with your voice belt out those high notes, vocal distortions, for you to learn, practice, and apply them in a healthy way for you without hurting your voice. We also talk about vocal warm-ups, how to properly get your voice ready to sing. We talk about breathing support. We talk about how to create your own vocal exercises to work on specific challenges that you're facing in the songs that you're practicing. But we also have a vocal exercise library with exercises for each of the techniques that we cover inside the course. All of that and much more, link in the description, building your voice. Alright, if you're curious about my own singing, I'll leave the link for my Spotify. Listen to my original songs. I would love to hear what you think of them. That's all for the day. You enjoy the day, you enjoy your coffee. And remember, if your concepts cannot be seen in the real world, they must change, and not the world.